It's the anniversary of my parents' death today. I went to the lake house. I always go to the lake house anyway, but it's also where they died. I stood for a while, looking across the water. It's peaceful there. It's the place that makes me feel the most. There was a girl there, by the lake, only about 9 or 10. She was fishing, if you can call it that, with one of those nets on a stick. I don't know why I talked to her. She looked sad. I don't usually talk to children, but she seemed different, special. I'm allowed to talk to her, aren't I, Doctor? Good. It felt nice. I felt like I was being nice. I felt human. So I can find her and talk to her again, Doctor. Then I will. I'll look for her next time I'm there. The day Dr. Dekker was killed, I had a session with him in the morning at my usual time, 11 o'clock. That was the last time I saw him. Dr. Dekker made me an offer that I couldn't refuse. I'll be taking it to the grave with me, though. As did he. They died of carbon monoxide poisoning. I was staying at a friend's house. Otherwise, I would have died too. David had been hunting again, and, well, she's seen some of the skins he hung around the lake house. Animal skins. David hunts, then skins. It's horrible, really. He's not really good at either job, so the skins still have great lumps of bloody carcass hanging off them. I'm sure he'll get better with practice. David wasn't there. Or at least I didn't see him. I didn't go inside. I forgot my key, and the spare was missing. Valentine's Day night, I was at the lake house, watching David, like I always do. He has trouble with his mental faculties and is getting worse. Yes, I watch him and make sure nothing bad happens. Met isn't the right word. David has always been there, in the shadows, on the periphery. I move in very exclusive circles. You tend to see the same faces. Love? Yes. I suppose I always will. I don't know. I suppose she just reminded me of me. I spent a lot of time alone as a child. She said she was trying to catch some strange creatures that she's seen in the water. I don't know. Minnows, probably. Everything's strange when you're a child. It was 12 years ago. I was still very young. Too young to be an orphan, anyway. I had to toughen up quickly. I don't move in any circles anymore. Those people were my parents' friends, not mine. I've known David forever. It seems like he's always been in my life, one way or another. He was a family friend. It's different now, of course, to when I first met him. I felt like he was protecting me then, watching over me. Nothing could hurt me when he was there. Do you think I killed my parents? I was a young woman in possession of an enormous fortune. Lots of people, lots of men, saw that as an opportunity. Dr. Dekker was more animated that day, excited even. He talked a lot. She lives on the other side of the lake. She must be new. I haven't seen her there before. It's okay if you think I killed them. You wouldn't be the first to draw that conclusion. People can be so cynical. I'm used to it. I'm not sure. It was a faulty boiler, I think. I'm sure I had a spare key for the lake house, but I can't find it anywhere. I don't really need one if David is around. Yes, I loved my parents very much. They were very good parents. It was hard letting them go. can't remember my friend's name. She was a girl from my school. Vicky, Charlotte. It's not really important. Some tried to seduce me. Some thought I wanted a new daddy. Most of them were the same age as my parents. And yet I'm the one here talking to you. Yes, money. Everybody wants it. But what use is it really? Look at me. Am I happy? Am I loved? Am I living? Instead of his usual sarcasm and rebuttals, he seemed genuinely excited. Presumably, he had a date.
There's something I want to tell you about. Something else that's wrong with me. I think I've been getting a bit out of control in my hour. When I first got the hour, I was shocked, obviously. It took me a while to work out that everyone was frozen and only I could move, because I live on my own. What would you do, Doctor, if you had an hour where everyone was frozen? Go to a fairground? Well, that makes me feel a little better. There's a young mother, divorced, who lives opposite me. Jessica. She's friendly and says hello to me, smiles. I've always wondered what she looks like naked. So one hour, I broke into her house. She was standing in her bedroom. I took it as a sign. I took off her clothes and... I took photos of Jessica when she was naked. When I'd stripped her. When she was naked and frozen. I didn't want to have to do it again, to strip her again. So I took pictures to remind myself what she looked like. That's wrong, isn't it, Doctor? Possibly a relative of yours. Possibly a patient that died here. I'm not sure. She doesn't normally say anything. I dug the grave for Dr. Dekker. I helped carry his coffin to the burial site. Do you know what? It didn't weigh enough to have a body in it. Why do you think that is? No, the coffin wasn't empty. There was something in it. A decoy, I'd imagine. I'm guessing he was buried somewhere else, or cremated. Somebody somewhere didn't want his body going in the ground. Do you want to be cremated or buried, Doctor? That's a good choice, Doctor. Less work for me. Ha! That was just an example, Doctor. I'm sure you can come up with more exciting things to do than that. Yes, I would steal too. And I have stolen. I ran out of milk, so I thought I'd go to the local all-night shop and get some more. I was absolutely intending to pay, but when I got there, everyone was frozen. I thought about leaving money on the counter, but that seemed weird. The cashier would wake and suddenly this money would have appeared from nowhere. But I've stolen bigger things. I did think, what good could I do, other than catch up with work? I did see a woman who was having her purse snatched, so I gave her purse back, and the crook, I placed him on a bus a few blocks away. I have no idea where it was going. She'd never really be able to thank me, so I took another picture. I know. It's that bloody Dr. Dekker. He made me this way. It's all his fault. Like I said, I originally presented with depression, and everything was going well for a while. Then Dr. Dekker changed. He was easily distracted during sessions, like he wasn't listening. I'm pretty sure he wasn't listening half the time. I don't think he wanted to know about his patients anymore. But when he did give you advice, he told me to use my imagination, to make something up, to think something crazy, and it would become real. He told me to think of a way to get more time. So I did. But he pushed me. He made me think it. I spent most of Valentine's Day at the art gallery. Well, the evening part, anyway. They had a display with the theme, Love Conquers All. I didn't get most of the paintings, but they were well done. Yes, I suppose I've destroyed a few things whilst in the hour. You can be the perfect supervillain. Nobody knows it was you. That wretched dig goes on 24/7. 25/7, if you ask me. Your patient, Nathan, caused quite a stir. He interrupted one of the female students all night, apparently. Made her miscategorize some findings, going on about his dead girlfriend. It's amazing what you hear at the coffee machine. Well, I suppose that's a bonus. We're allowed to use their coffee machine while they're there. Because you have to hope, don't you, Doctor? It's only the power of hindsight that made me realize how toxic it all was. And after a point, you go too far to be able to come back anyway. Thinking I had an extra hour at the end of each day did become real for me, Doctor. Maybe Dekker was a genie, and he could grant wishes. Maybe he wished himself dead. I don't know. Therapists are supposed to help you. For whatever reason, Dr. Dekker had given up the desire to cure my mind, and instead wanted to make me more unstable. From stealing milk, I moved on to petrol. From petrol, well, all those supermarkets have all kinds of electricals, so I've stolen quite a lot of that. I'm not proud. I think I've been doing it because I can, to prove to myself either way, my extra hour is actually real. I live on my own. Occasionally I visit my father. He's in sheltered housing. Dementia. Moving things around and hiding things was amusing at first, when everyone was frozen. Some people would faint when things appeared from mid-air. Others would cry. Others just thought that it was there all the time and that their mind was playing tricks on them. It got boring fast, though. When you work in a graveyard, you see a lot of strange things. I'm not sure if they're real, or whether I think they're real, or which is worse. You're laughing at me, aren't you? I said I wasn't sure if they were real. I'm a bit of a professional at this grave-filling business, Doctor. I know a decoy coffin when I handle one. I don't think you would, Doctor. I don't think I would, either. I took a picture after undressing her. I put her clothes back on before time resumed. To be honest, there wasn't much to take off and put on. Do you know what kind of girls walk around at midnight, Doctor? I can't delete them. I don't know why. I haven't shown them to anyone else. Do you want to see them, Doctor? No, of course you don't. It's just me. I'm the sick one.
So, should I get a solicitor, or shall we try and talk it out with him? I think we should get a solicitor. I know the perfect firm. I'll do it all, don't worry about it. And that's why we've got insurance for these kinds of things anyway. But the cheek of it. On Valentine's Day, Dr. Dekker had a session with Claire Castleford at 11 and that nurse, Elin, at 3. Everyone else cancelled. You should see this place Christmas Eve. I was at home though, so I don't actually know who came in. Dr. Dekker did phone and ask me for Nathan's number, which is a bit strange. Hey you, thanks for helping me with this grief thing. I'm not sure I have it though. I don't really know where to start. I feel a bit numb. Maybe we should just talk about him. It hadn't even been a year. He was a quiet, solitary man. A good listener, as I suppose you'd need to be. His confidence did grow as time wore on, but that's what you'd expect after you've fitted in. I mainly miss our chats. He used to work late with me and tell me things about the patients, things that I probably shouldn't have heard, but did. What do you think of the patients? Nah, perhaps you shouldn't say. You can ask me, go on, I'll tell you what I think. Mariana is a special girl. You know, there's something about her that just makes you want to follow her. Maybe that's what a trendsetter looks like. Elin seems like a lovely person. I'm not really sure why she's here. I think Bryce has a lot of misdirected anger. I don't think I like him that much. You know, sometimes when things overrun, he's outside waiting for you, and he stares at me as if he's undressing me with his eyes. You know, he's not the first person that's done that, but still, you know, it feels worse coming from him. Claire seems to be shaken by something. You know, I offer her drinks every time she comes in, but she always refuses them. It's as if she just wants to come in, get her session over with, and then run off to do something else. It's a bit rude, isn't it? Oh, I just want to cuddle Nathan all up. He's such a mess. He's always in the same clothes. He barely talks to me though. It's the same hello every time. He reminds me of Tom. We'd work late together on all sorts of things. He was preoccupied with finding patterns in patients, trying to find some kind of order. Tom was a quiet mess, like Nathan. Youngish, in his early 20s. He taught piano, but he did have a strange hobby. Tom liked to base jump. That's basically falling from a huge building or mountain and pulling your parachute before you hit the ground. He started to think he could fly. Dr. Dekker tried to talk him out of it, but Tom had to prove his point. So one day, Tom decided to base jump without a parachute. Can you guess what happened? He did die. He was hit by a rock from further up the mountain. He never got to fly. Nathan thinks he knows what his problem is too, but if he's not careful, he'll get hit by that rock. I wish I'd said goodbye. Mainly he was searching for a common experience the patients might have had. That's what led them to his office. He'd study everything, even the referral letters. Yes, letters, parking tickets, holiday destinations. I find those referral letters, he was sure there was a pattern in them. I wish I'd said goodbye to Dr. Dekker. It was so sudden. Here, then gone. He resigned anyway, but that's not the same, is it? Dr. Dekker resigned shortly before his murder. It's sad, but doctors come and go and only poor Jaya remains. I've got his resignation letter somewhere. I do all the hiring and firing around here. Well, Professor Alderby and the Trust technically do that. It hadn't even been a year. He was a quiet, solitary man. A good listener, as I suppose you'd need to be. His confidence did grow as time wore on, but that's what you'd expect after you've fitted in. I mainly miss our chats. He used to work late with me and tell me things about the patients, things that I probably shouldn't have heard, but did. What do you think of the patients? Perhaps you shouldn't say. You can ask me. Go on, I'll tell you what I think. Professor Alderby is a trustee. Did I not mention that?